Granting another chance for the man accused in a deadly wreck to possibly get out of jail while he awaits his next day in court.
It is a case that we have been following at a time when immigration is in the headlines. Prosecutors saying the driver, Francisco Eduardo, is in our country illegally. He has been charged with criminally negligent homicide in connection with the wreck late last month on Chapman Highway. That crash claiming the life of 22-year-old Pierce Corcoran, son of a Knoxville Fire Department captain and spokesperson.
The case now going to a grand jury, but his bond status sitting in limbo until today. New at 6, WATE 6 on your side reporter Blake Stevens in the courtroom earlier today. He joins us now live here in the studio. And Blake, this isn't Eduardo's first time getting a chance to make bond.
It's not, Bo. Judge Andrew Jackson VI revoked it for that preliminary hearing to keep him in Knox County instead of an ICE facility out of state. Now, Judge Patricia Hall Long believes he's entitled to a bond under state law. His charge, let's talk about his charge, criminally negligent homicide. That's another factor in bonds. The judge explaining criminally negligent homicide is the lowest type of felony. She also says she doesn't believe that case will end with a conviction, but if Eduardo is convicted, the judge fearful she could be holding him in jail through these court proceedings longer than his actual sentence. Now, worst case scenario for Eduardo, he serves 2 years. With that, he'd be eligible for parole after 219 days. And keep in mind, his time in jail now would go towards that. Now, Eduardo's immigration status is perhaps the biggest factor in granting a bond. The assistant district attorney arguing he still has family in Mexico that he's working to support, which she argues makes him a flight risk. The defense saying he isn't going anywhere, telling the judge Eduardo turned down an option to go to Mexico already and has lived in the U.S. for 14 years. Prosecutors also fear because ICE has picked him up before, making a bond could take him away again.
If he's entitled to bond and I were to grant him bond, my hope would be that he remains here until the prosecution. But you're telling me from what I've heard last week, I can't control it, you can't control it, nobody can control it. And I would hope that the courtrooms and anybody else watching this would realize we can't help that. Your office can't help it, I can't help it. You know, if he's entitled to the bond, I can't just deny him a bond based on the fact that ICE might come get him.
Eduardo's team working to get the money back from the bonding company from his first bond that Eduardo met. It's the same amount as the bond set today, $3,500, and I'm told there will be a waiting period of at least a couple days for ICE to determine if they're going to come and pick him up. Again, guys, the judge acknowledging she can't control what ICE does if he makes this bond. She feels it wasn't enough to deny Eduardo bond today.
All right, Blake, thank you. There's also an agreement between the federal government and Knox County to keep him here through these legal proceedings.
Yeah, in the legal world, it's called a writ. While the prosecutor believes ICE could still take him, Eduardo's attorney believes it will hold up if he makes bond.